right, welcome to We Are Something Else, episode 161, 90210. And we're here. It's another Thursday, another 9:30 p.m., and another mass shooting is upon us. So before we get started, thoughts and prayers to those who lost their lives or who were injured this week at Michigan State University. Got Ariel Anderson, Alexandria Verna, and Brian Frazier. And with that, fellas, come off mute. How's everybody doing? How was your week thus far? E-Rich.
Yeah, I mean, CB probably is say it, but I'll say it first. Here we go again. This for sure feels like maybe a Groundhog Day show because we're talking about the same shit over and over again. As soon as we get, and I mean closure in the sense of the white terrorist that got his sentencing today or this week for the Buffalo grocery stores, and we go right back and have to kind of endure one at a university. So with that news, outside of that, busy work week. Was in the office for all hands for the technology crew. It was good to see everybody. But outside of that, man, looking for a good show. Something to help close out the week. It's been a very long week of work. I feel like it's been 2 weeks of work and only 1 day off. So hopefully this is giving me some energy, and let's get to it.
Right, you got a long weekend ahead. CB, what's good, bro?
Hey, man. Yeah, a lot of emotions this week. Work's been busy. And then on top of that, like we opened the show with, dealing with another mass shooting, and we've talked about it already this year. Like there's only so much thoughts and prayers can do. Like at some point, like what's going to change? What needs to change? If we had those answers, we wouldn't be talking about this stuff every week. So it hurts. My heart hurts for all the families impacted, and I mean, you also just think about like these kids are in college, and I guess still the suspect, even though he offed himself. Like this was a dude like in like his 40s or something like that. So
Yep.
it's crazy, man. Like I said, we just got to keep chugging along. But my heart hurts for all the families impacted.
Shout out to Mr. Sean Xavier from the Hot Seat Podcast, the Sinai Circle Creative. Shout out to Be Easy. Yes, I totally agree. It's only so much thoughts and prayers are going to do for you. We need to put pen to paper, sign some legislation, something, because it's an everyday thing. Not just mass shootings, but killings. I mean, social media is probably a good. We've talked about this before. It's probably a good and bad thing, because we all know that good that it can do, but then also the bad is you see everything. You know everything that's going on social media. You know it on social media before you know it on the news. And I don't know what we're gonna do. How you stop it, I don't know. It's a monster in itself, right? Social media is a monster, and in our area alone, I talked about it before. The carjackings ramping up. You got road rage that's ramping up. People are in a rush to get anywhere but nowhere at the same time. And It feels like, sitting home for 2 years, I didn't do much driving. I would take evening drives, but I didn't have to commute, to work. I didn't have that hustle and bustle of, traffic flow or anything like that. And ever since I've gotten back to work, it feels like everybody's gotten a rush. I mean, to the point where I feel like I'm the old guy now, because I do the speed limit, and you got people who, person is close when you can't see their headlights in your rear view anymore, and you can make out what song they're singing in your rear view.
I mean, I told you, bro, get out the way. I was
I mean,
telling you.
I'm just like, where the fuck is everybody trying to go? And you never wish ill on anybody, but when they pass you because they're in a rush to do something stupid, or they swerve in and out, you just hope there's like a little pebble or something in the road that just throws the tire traction off just a little bit, and let Jesus take the wheel from there. But look, yeah, week has been going good. I'm glad we got a long weekend ahead, perhaps some of us. But with all that said, fellas, let's wrap. Now we led into it before. Michigan State mass shooting, and we're going to show. We always show the perpetrator, and this is showing you that it doesn't know a specific skin color. You can be any color you want and pull these things off. And we're going to say the mental illness is, I think to a certain point, and not to offend anybody, I think that's just the easy cop out sometimes. Everything can't be mental illness when it comes to this. Some people are just built this way, right? So Anthony McCrae, 43, like you said, 43 years old, goes to Michigan State, and he injures 5, kills 3, right? No ties to anybody. So this was very random. And, he ended up killing himself, which is come on, dude. If you got the balls enough to do this, keep yourself alive to deal with the consequences, right? That's just the easy out. Because if that was your end game all along, you could have just began with the end. So he's had some issues before. He had some felonies on his rap sheet. I think he did some jail time. And he had when the cops found him, they found like a list of other schools that he was gonna, I guess, attack. But his dad had reported him and was worried about him because I guess his Facebook page. Look at this guy's Facebook page that was made public. I mean, there was all kinds of crazy like satanic stuff on there, and it took this for somebody to say something about his Facebook page. That's a cry for help long ago. If there's something like that on there, even if not, still check it out, right? But his dad said that once his mom passed away, he kind of went downhill from there and stopped caring about a lot of things. No excuse for any of this. And like we always say, it's just a matter of time for when the next one is going to happen, right? So let's go around. Actually, let's open it up. Let's go to this right here. Let's rap about this.
I mean, we said a little bit of about it in the opening, but it's like you said, Kaleo. If this was the end game, because from what we understand, we haven't really been able to determine a motive or anything. Like, what was the point of taking these kids' lives? Like, if ultimately, you were just gonna off yourself too. You know what I mean? Like, it's a coward's way out. Um, if you're a believer, you got to hope that you're praying basically that he's getting his just desserts in the afterlife. Um, it's just insane because, like you talk about, it's just a matter of time before it happens again, and it seems like the window in which these events are happening is just shortening up every single time. So, like you said, I think at some point you can't just put some blanket term over all of this and say that everyone that does this has some kind of mental illness, like, because that term suggests that it's something that's not normal, but this is happening with some kind of regularity. So I don't know.
some people are very much in their right mind when they do shit like this.
Well, yeah, I agree 100%. And I haven't really dove into this situation, but you said that he had felonies, so um, he was able to obtain a gun after being a felon. You know what I mean? So like, it, a lot of the stuff is like you said, we talk about it, and like you said, there's only so many thoughts and prayers. It's gonna come down to actual legislation. And not just that. I mean, if his dad knew that he took a turn for the worse once his mom passed, then I mean, I understand he's 40 years old. He's a grown ass man. Only so much that his probably dad can do. But this is where we talk about keeping your circle tight. You know what I mean? Where you go through those hard times, and but did he put himself in that environment to not go down this path? It seemed like he allowed social media or things to take over his mind that would have allowed him to check out to where he would have done what he did at the end, which was cowardly kill himself. Because had it been those three against that 43-year-old with no gun, I guarantee you them kids would have came out on top, because they would have said us before you, bro. You know what I mean? Because you don't have the mental fortitude to be here. Like you're looking for a way to get out of this. Funny enough, if the satanic stuff and all the stuff that was on his Facebook page, whatever that is, and I know I bring this up, I have I probably have one of the dopest cyber teams at my company, and they flag shit like crazy all the time on many occasions. Shit that's low level all the way to high level. And how is it that Facebook doesn't put something together that allows us to be top priority so that we can well, not only that,
get in
but
Facebook jail for writing something that's not even a threat.
Listen, that and the funny thing about this was because I just got a reminder or like a remember this type moment on IG. I got flagged for a couple of days because I had reposted the story about somebody laughing at the orange guy talking about drinking bleach. So they thought that I was promoting drinking bleach, and they flagged my page, and I couldn't get on for like a week. And yet what I was saying was, that's a dumbass thing to do. Look at who just said it, and you're going to flag me for, but again, here he can, and other people say all kind of stuff. So it just gets to that point where you realize, it feeds into their bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to be the hero out of this? You know what I mean? Because you can save a generation, literally.
I mean, again, it's only a matter of time before another one breaks. It's just sad. This is where we are. So as this one happens, you mentioned earlier the Buffalo massacre. Peyton Gendron, who gives a shit how you say his name? He's crying those white tears right now. If you see that picture, he was sentenced this week to life in prison without possibility of parole, and I mean that's deserving for sure. But something happened. He actually apologized for his racist attack. Right? He apologized for killing people's loved ones. I don't want an apology because it doesn't mean anything, right? So you didn't mean to go on a racist rampage and kill people at a grocery store, innocent people. You didn't mean to do that. Oh, you're sorry that you did that. You're not racist anymore, or you're a racist apologizing for something that you want to do. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, seemed kind of like a backhand kind of thing to do. I mean, apology is not going to make me feel better. I mean, I don't. Maybe make him feel better. I don't know. But save your apology. At this point, I want you to rot. Actually, I want you to spend the worst time of your life behind bars. And there was a loved one. I don't know the relationship, but somebody did charge at this guy, right? He took a shot. He took an attempt. I mean, he had to go past. He did push like an attorney or somebody out the way, but there was still like 15 other people. He wasn't going to make it to Peyton. He tried, and emotions will get you, to the attempt. You'll do that. You'll get that contempt of court, or do that 30-day jail sentence or whatever it is. Just take a stab at it. Unsuccessful. But maybe it's just me. What? They should let him go. You mean you can kill my family members and I can't do anything to you but watch hopefully justice prevail? And we know you did it. It's not like there's insufficient evidence that you confess. We know you did it. It was you. So let's get some feelers about the situation. Again, the judge sentenced him life in jail without parole. She told him he would never see the light of day again. I mean, strong words. Life is still not enough. And he apologized. Does the apology mean anything at this point? CB.
It's really convenient how these changes of heart happen when you're staring down life. You know what I mean? Like, like you said, the apology doesn't bring any of these people back. And at the end of the day, like that's the crux of it all, right? Like all of these people never came home, whether they were out shopping or whether they were working that day. Like they didn't come home. And like this is going to be very human of me to say right now, but like, Jesus Christ, he forgives. In this type of scenario, I don't know if I'm strong enough to do that kind of thing. You know what I mean? If that was one of my family members, nah, man.
I'm not forgiving you.
Nah. So, it again, I mean, bro, we're starting this show off hot. Like, dang.
Oh, yeah. We are.
But this is, to some degree a I don't want to call it justice. I think we talk about we have a judicial system, not a justice system. So, you're not going to be able to make everybody happy with this outcome.
Yep. Shout out to Remy for messing with the lights.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he still has to go through federal charges because it's a hate crime. So, right. That doesn't mean that which I think the federal hate crime does come with the potential of death penalty in that sense. But you cross your fingers with that. No. I understand that, but it is one of those things where it's. There's levels to this, and I think it's based upon the family members and things of that nature. You'll have it 50-50. Some that'll be like, I want him to rot. Other people will be like, nah, I feel like, you know what? He's still young. Let's go ahead and end his life short. Why allow him to at least have the spoils of being able to wake up, to eat when he, you know what I mean? Like he's provided food and shelter. Why? If he's less of a person that he allowed fabricated writings that were incorrect to persuade him that this thing was real, for him to then get put in jail, to then turn around and realize that what he read was fake. And the best thing you can do is just apologize. Like that's, right. Like the judge said, there is no mercy. So if we're describing this as no mercy because he showed us no mercy, then why are we then, like kind of CB said, there's no forgiving. Now we're just going to go ahead, and it should be one of those, like I said, we can definitely get into the grips of it and be like, right after you get that sentence, like, you go behind the wall. They, kind of like the movies,
Reality setting in.
the wall opens up and they go put you in the chair right after you find out. Like, hey, bro, this is,
I mean,
sorry.
no way in the world should this be a pleasant experience in him for jail, right? We all know that there's a certain type of prisoners or for people who go to jail for a certain reason that don't really see the light of day after being in there for a certain time for some of the crimes they've committed. And this guy killed a bunch of black people or just people in general. And there's no way in
These
the
were like
world.
older, like these were people,
Yeah.
freaking shopping, bro. Like
And I
getting
think that
groceries.
I'm a one, I could be petty at times, I do like good payback. But and I think that the death penalty is too easy for a lot of these because you won't have to deal with that guilt or whatever. You won't have to wake up and deal with emotions, right? This guy should be
Law-abiding
waking up
citizen, man.
every morning kissing a Richard every morning. He should be waking up to something like that.
What if he
Every
likes
morning.
that? What if he likes that?
But he's gonna be waking up in he's probably, let's see, if it's the federal is gonna come down, so he's gonna be in a single cell that's a small box. He's gonna have the orange jumpsuit, and he's only gonna get 1 hour outside. He's not gonna be amongst a lot of people because it is a federal crime, and let's be honest, where he's at is probably where more of his kind are because, like I said, we're not so much in federal as they would like to announce. But listen, man, it is what it is. Let's put this to bed. Like 50% of us want him to have time in jail. The other 50% want him to die immediately. Let the families go ahead and the grieving part. I feel like on the other side is when we say let him live and let him rot in jail, you have anniversaries where this stuff is always going to be brought up and you're going to know that this guy is still living still. Right. So, it is what it is. But he did kill black people based upon a fabricated story that he thought was true. And again, it was online, and God bless, libraries and actual books and people actually reading and finding out true information, because that shit's a lost thing.
All right, we got all that shit out the way. Now let's do some uplifting stuff, and let's go here. Pharrell has been named the director of menswear for Louis Vuitton, for LV, succeeding Virgil. And we know how important Virgil was to a lot of us sneakerheads, fashion experts. Virgil was dope, and his life got cut short, and it was a surprise to everybody. But Pharrell Williams is now menswear creative director, which is awesome. LV said that Williams was a visionary whose creative universes expand from music to art and to fashion. And if we know one thing about Pharrell, is his contribution to fashion. Even as an artist, he was very different in the way he presented himself fashion-wise. Simplistic things is wearing trucker hats when nobody was wearing trucker hats. Wearing the tight, skinny jeans and skater shoes when nobody else was doing it, right? And his partnership with Nigo, however you pronounce it, they've done great things with the Bape stuff to now the Human Made with Adidas. I mean, everything that's got touches in fashion is a movement because you see people following the trend, he's not afraid to start the trend. And then by the time you catch up with it, he's on something else. So I don't know if I'm assuming maybe Nigo may be somewhere in the background with him because they seems to be they work a lot together when it comes to a lot of these things. So there's a couple people that's pissed off that they chose Pharrell and not some big name designer. But I think that this is a really good job because Pharrell is culture, hip hop culture, fashion culture. He's a movement by himself. That's my thoughts. Can't wait to see what they do together. Let's start with you.
Look at Adidas for the win. First Balenciaga, and now definitely getting LV. The collaboration coming through for probably a T-shirt for $750. But no, I mean this is a good look. We all on this show love us Pharrell music wise. Artist. His his contribution to the culture. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This actually almost makes sense if you look at who it's preceding, regardless of, let's just say, if even Virgil was here and stepped away and did something else. This seems like this would be the right move to make anyway.
Before you continue, question is, if Ye was in good standings with everyone, does it go to Ye?
No.
Just a question.
Reason why is I feel like Pharrell kind of has always had just a natural, like he didn't have to try to grab the culture. Mm-hmm. He just did. Mm-hmm. Ye, sometimes we can all agree that he reaches sometimes because he's really trying to prove a point or trying to grab a certain sector to just say, it is what it is. Wow. Sean is really retarded for that comment.
I'm glad because people see me laughing like on the side. He's saying something real serious. You know what I mean? Like, it's because we can see the comments. We can see the comments before Kaleo posts them. So I got to apologize all the time because there would be a really serious conversation going on, and then I'm cracking up because one of these comments is out of pocket. Like,
leave it to Sean. Leave it to Sean. But no, listen. I mean, that is a good question to pose. And maybe we talk about that after the fact, but I appreciate Pharrell's vision. Like I said, really just his push for the culture. Like, and he's true to what it is when we say culture. And it's not he's not chasing anything. He's not selling us anything just to say I can push anything to you. He actually puts his name on it and says, like, this is my way of joining the culture of what I want to bring to it so that my piece of the name to the culture can then further somebody else, right? I think he's not selfish in that regards.
So real quick, see, before you go, Bape, BBC, ice cream, Adidas.
Cold lineup.
For those who don't know who BBC is, Billionaire Boys Club.
$100 T-shirts.
Yeah. He ran BBC and ice cream ran conjointly, like they were two separate entities that Pharrell was running at the same time.
I wasn't planning on busting out those Reeboks. You're gonna make me do it. I'm gonna have to dig through the freaking crate for the Billionaire Boys Club ice cream collab that they did for Complex Con. Like, yeah.
Go for it.
So I do think this is a dope move. It's a little bit different because like Virgil was like actually a designer. You know what I mean? Like Pharrell is in the space, but I do think that it's a little bit different in terms of what we're talking about, what he brings to the table compared to what Virgil's credentials were. So when you hear people being upset, because they didn't pick like a true designer or something like that. I think this could still end up being like the right move. Reggie Casual from The Casual, that YouTube channel, he brought up a great point where Pharrell is a guy that is always into putting other people on. You know what I mean? So just because he is being given this title of creative director, artistic director, like usually that's someone who's coordinating, a lot of these different things. And so that could include him actually being the main designer on stuff. But a lot of times it also means bringing in other designers or coordinating the right people in house to work on a project. And so creates creative wise, this is a great move. Um, to answer the yay question, I don't think like Ye is incredibly controversial. Louis Vuitton is not a very controversial brand.
Mhm.
Pharrell, not a controversial dude. So you know what I mean? Like there it makes sense that Pharrell would be the choice, and you can't have the Ye conversation about him, not being who he is. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I think this still I think this is ultimately going to be a dope move. Who better than Pharrell when it comes to this kind of thing?
Absolutely. Shout out to Skateboard P. All right, guys. Real quick, kind of a lightning round. You can spend a couple seconds, maybe a minute, thinking about this. Doesn't have to be perfect. But Colin Coward put out a list this week of his top 10 quarterbacks in the league. Patrick Mahomes is number one, Joe Burrow number two, Trevor Lawrence number three, Justin Herbert number four, number five is Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts number six, Matthew Stafford number seven, number eight is Rodgers, number nine is Lamar, number 10 is Jared Goff. Okay, so by reactions and the look on you guys' faces, you guys are wondering what the hell Colin Coward is talking about. And I was wondering the same myself. First of all, Patrick Mahomes, yes, number one, I will give you that. He deserves it. Brady's gone. Not that Brady would have been number one anyway. It is Patrick Mahomes. Number two, I'm gonna blow this back up. I'm sorry. Number two, you got Burrow. Maybe I would give it to Hurts because he just played in the Super Bowl. You got to give him to him because he is the number two quarterback at the moment, the most recent quarterback to be in the Super Bowl. Yeah, and he played. He had a better game than Mahomes, stat wise. Stat wise. Now, so that would drop Burrow to three. I'm fine with that. Then you have Trevor Lawrence. Trevor's had some bad seasons. He just learned how to sit on the potty. No,
Colin
no,
Coward knows what he's doing. He knows
exactly. Yeah,
exactly
no.
what he's doing.
Yeah. All
That's
these
the one.
college
That's
quarterbacks. No.
that's the one. That's the one right there. We all know what he's doing.
So yeah, I'm not giving Lawrence that high. Herbert, I would put Herbert over Lawrence for sure. Allen, I'll put Allen at 4 under Burrow. Allen can't win the big games. He'll do good all season. Can't win the big games.
This list
We
is
already said
driving me to
Jalen
drink a
Hurts.
second beer.
Stafford, you know, Stafford had one where he was Super Bowl. Everyone mediocre. No. Stafford and Goff are the quarterback to me. They swap places. One went to the Super Bowl, one didn't. Lamar, I would put Lamar right under Josh Allen. You know what? No, I'm putting Lamar. No, I put Lamar right under Josh Allen. And then Rodgers is probably under Lamar. So yeah, I don't know what he was smoking on when he made this list. He made it because he wants us to talk about, it, and that's what we're doing. Real quick, you guys, go ahead and tell me what you feel.
You got to see me
Um,
sit you on drink number two.
yeah. Yeah. I have. If you look at the list real quick, three guys. I think there are three guys on the list that have won an MVP award.
Mm-hmm.
So the top two guys are going to be dudes that have won the MVP. So it goes Mahomes, then it goes Lamar. And then after that, you can kind of fill it in how you want. But Trevor Lawrence being anywhere near the top five makes that like that's the whole point of this list. It was not about any of the other spots. It was about him putting Trevor Lawrence up in a spot that no one else on the planet, not even Trevor Lawrence's mom, is rating him. So, like
You put
this
him
list
over
is what it is.
Jalen
It's
Hurts.
laughable. Bruh,
Yeah.
nah, like, here's the thing. Trevor Lawrence had a good season. He was an incredible prospect coming out of college. bruh, what do you like? No, this is the wrong answer. Like we know that this is exactly why he puts the list out. It is what it is. But yeah, I think this is one of those joints where it's like the audacity of this man. No.
I'm shocked he didn't put Caleb on the list.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Eddie.
And just for context, he definitely put this out after the Super Bowl too. This was after the Super Bowl.
This was Monday.
So what I would say is, if I remember correctly, I'm getting rid of Trevor Lawrence. Period. Like he's off the list. Matthew Stafford, did he even play last year?
Right.
He played 4 games last year? If anything else, what's the quarterback that nobody wants that's there now in LA?
Baker.
Oh, Baker.
Why not? Baker should have been on the list prior to Stafford if he didn't even play last year. And then Jared Goff. Geno Smith was better than Jared Goff last year. So, again,
Didn't
and
Geno
matter of
get
fact,
comeback player of the year?
Comeback player,
Yeah.
and guess what? Not only did he get comeback player of the year, had the best, I believe, the best completion percentage of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk
And-
about this fuck up list,
Seahawks got a great draft pick.
exactly.
Shout out to Geno. That was no fault of his. Just steps in and Russ shits the bed out in Denver.
Like let's just call it what it is. Like this is it's clickbait. It's definitely for everybody to talk about, and hopefully you run this segment real quick and tell Colin that he's trash for making us talk about this non-list that he came out of nowhere with, and he got his wishes, and we're moving on.
So, yes, this came out after the Super Bowl, and you know what else is for everybody to talk about? DC Shot Pie. Look, WRSC10. That's our code. I had DC Shot Pie for the Super Bowl. It's freaking amazing. Hadn't had it in a while. It's great. Slept amazing that night. Save 10%. WRSC10. What's
This is the NFL, Sean, not Vidal Sassoon.
Why is the other comment? There we go.
Man, that man threw 4 picks in the first half, and he's top 3.
I'm gonna be honest, like I would have had Dak in my top 10 ahead of some of those guys. Like,
that
this
list is
coming
a
from
little
a
light.
Washington fan.
That list is a little light, if you know what I mean.
I mean, that's top
we
one,
go.
top one, and top one.
Shot pie pizza, amazing. I had the sausage and pepperoni myself. But yeah, desserts, flats, all that amazing stuff. So yeah, DC Shot Pie. Use our code WRSC10. I got told E this, but shout out to Grant who thought that Pop sent him that message during the middle of the show last week. I gotta tell you that.
Oh, Grant, man, God bless you, man.
I told CD last week. We love you, Grant.
Man, we just,
you know what it is.
We're gonna get straight into this. I don't think this is much of a controversy. I think this is just right in line with everybody's thoughts and concerns. But we just did it. We just had a Super Bowl, and everybody had probably a nice spread of food and things of that nature. Those of you on the East Coast, hopefully you had that DC Shot Pie. But out here on the West Coast, we did not. Hopefully Grant and I, can discuss getting that West Coast DC Shot Pie up and running. But anyway, the one thing that came to mind was, everybody always shows like they got the wings, they got all of this. But what about the dessert, right? And outside of the dessert, I'm thinking, what can you really bring to the Super Bowl party that's just gonna set it off? Because you have whoever brings the dessert or makes the dessert has to have a stellar dessert that matches up to either the wings, the whatever taco bar, the hoagie station, whatever it is that you have. Like that's where we're at with this. Unfortunately, not to my knowledge and not where I was at, but from my understanding, coconut cake is liked by a lot of people. As I went to the store to go pick up the cookies, section, and I realized what the hell is the problem because all the damn coconut cake was gone.
We're a little bit behind.
What in the F is happening?
When did this become a thing? I didn't realize. Coconut cake?
Is this do people like coconut cake?
And do they bring it to parties?
Apparently they do. Apparently they do.
I mean, we gotta. I guess whatever parties Rashad's going to, we're missing out.
I feel like this is the weakest. This is like cardboard of the cake. Just the whole cake lineup. Like coconut cake seems so. You know what it does? It seems like it's so. How do I say lazy? And then on top of that, there's no flavor. Now don't get me wrong. Those of us who dive into the Caribbean foods know that coconut milk is in every fucking thing that you have, and that shit's amazing with spices. But coconut cake is probably the worst fucking dessert on the cake aisle ever, and the fact that it was all gone pretty much made me very mad that this is a thing. This is trending somewhere. Coconut cake.
Apparently in LA.
I would say I would say in the Orange County district of where my folks stay because this definitely would not get. I can't put that on Long Beach and all the Carson and all the places that I've lived. I can't call that coconut cake is an LA thing. I can't let you do that to me, CB. I can't let you get that one off. No. So how do you feel about coconut cake? Some reason Kaleo's face has me a little concerned that he may actually enjoy this food. Not that he can eat it.
Not a big fan.
He likes coconut cake.
Not a big fan.
He eats coconut cake just for doing that. He definitely eats coconut cake.
I'm not a big fan of coconut at all, which is crazy. Pops loves coconut. He'll do German chocolate and hates pineapple. I like pineapple, hate coconut. So, all right.
I love family.
Soul swap. This is what's the last note? Wait, I just didn't like coconut. There's nothing for me to respond there. I wanted to clear that up. All right, CB, what we got for that copper drop?
All right, so we're switching it up a little bit. Towards the end of last year, Jordan Brand released their spring lineup. And some of these have already come out. Obviously, we're midway through February, but a bunch of these are still
on. With that, Sean.
Yes, Sean. I think it's the same demographic. I think it's the exact same people that are making the potato salad are the ones buying the cake. I don't have data to support this, but optically that just makes sense. But so for the copper drop, what I really wanted to talk about this week are any of these drops, whether they have already happened, some of the notable ones, the black and white 185 highs, those dropped yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
You had the Aqua 5s, which I was calling the Jacksonville Jaguars. Those dropped earlier in February. But is there anything from the spring lineup that was announced that you guys are really like, yeah, I'm clamoring for that. That's on the list. How are y'all feeling? Do you like the lineup? Do you think that, it's kind of weak? For me personally, you guys have already heard, my stance this year in terms of quality over quantity.
Yep.
So it's going to take kind of a lot, in my opinion, to land on the list. But if we're talking about this lineup specifically, the reimagined white cement threes are there's something that are going to be in consideration, because
Absolutely.
white cement threes are that's an OG, that's classic, and
Mhm.
doing the whole lost and found reimagined vibe, I think that's going to be kind of cool. So out of everything, that's really the only pair. The UNC fives, those are also in consideration. But how are you guys feeling about the Jumpman spring lineup?
So let's start at the top with these right here. What these are? What
14s,
13s,
14s.
14s. Yeah, you're right. They're like satin pass.
I mean,
Uh,
to their credit and to yours, they are a women's release. They probably don't come in at 12 men's anyway.
good. Pass still. Drop. Semi cop, not really. Cop for sure. Then we'll go from here. Those are the ones. I didn't go for them, but I got a feeling that they're going to be around again. These are cop. Laney ones. These are women released, but they do have unisex sizes. These are a cop for sure. Something about these. Those actually match the old Lakers jersey. These are a definite cop. All-Star weekend, gotta have them. I'm not.
15s.
They're doing too much with the fours now. With all these damn colorways. This is okay. This is more of a lifestyle colorway. Anything else?
For sure.
Not an immediate cop. These right here, the zebra
Elephant print
ones. I got the blacks. These are the whites. Those are cop. Then we'll go with the cool gray sixes.
Mm-hmm.
Not an immediate cop because the cool gray sevens are won by default for some reason. Then we got the olive. These numbers are confusing after all. The olive, those 10? No. Those are
the
nines. 9 olive nines. Nah, the only colorway in the nines that really mattered were the ones with the Wizards and then the original OG white and black
Chicago
twins.
joints.
Those ones right there, the
true blue ones.
True blue. No. The Gore-Tex. Those are Gore-Tex files, right? Is that what they
those
call them?
are it's like
release too, right?
Like the Toro for hers. I think that was they were women's release.
Yeah, I didn't go for them. Dope colorway. No, the twos you can forget it.
Me and E Rich weren't going to talk about them.
Yeah, I'm not going for the twos. Again, twos only matter in OG colorways or those special ones that came out last year. Again, more lifestyle color fours. No. And then those fives right there remind me so much of the Melo release. I think it was Melo's second or third signature.
The Denver.
I got they're right. I should get them. But yeah, it reminds me just of those. But yeah.
Looks like the Jacksonville Jaguars to me.
Yeah. There's a couple on the list that I would go after, that I'm going after. All right, E.
Since you took up all that time, I'm gonna keep it real short and sweet. Just the threes, the playoff 13s, and potentially the elephant print ones. Other than
anything on there that you're just like really offended by?
Yeah, there's a lot that I'm offended by on this list. Both twos, definitely the cool gray sixes, I'm offended by. They're trashing the fours, like you said, with these colorways. And those silver 14s are just
those look like the Hardens, don't they? Don't they look like the new Hardens that are out?
Yeah.
And you guys know I love the 14.
Yeah. This is probably one of the weaker spring drops that they've released. It seems like they're, and this is just my opinion, the collaboration. You got the I'm on my ears that are coming out.
So like they're
You
clearing
know,
way for that.
They are,
Yeah.
and because I think they realize that's going to keep the chokehold for the game for a second, right? Again, Union decided to drop some, low maintenance trash, so they don't have a stake in the Jordan. And then after that, like you said, what we talked about was the retroing of the threes, and then we all know, and we'll have a podcast about it, guys, so don't worry. But the 11s will get talked about this year because it seems like they decided, well, let's just bring out all the colors for the 11s this year. Don't matter if they're the holiday edition.
Exactly. How do you feel about those Laney ones?
I'm not so like. I think that's one of those, if
It's not
available,
an OG
and
colorway,
it is OG. The question is, do we know what's the price point?
I think they got the 180 price point.
185, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Standard Jordan 1 prices these days.
If they're still available, and I miss a 3 or I miss a, well, I can't say I missed the other thing, but if I miss the 3, then maybe I'll go for those.
All right, fellas, let's show some shoes. Do we do best? I'm gonna lead the way. Let's try some. All right, so everybody knows what box this is right here. I'm gonna pull up the reactions. So there we go. Everybody knows what box this is. Trust me. I grabbed whatever was at the top of the pile. Let's go with night joggers.
Nice.
Still got the look. I never changed the knot on it. Still got the original laces. It's got the boost. Super comfortable. Super comfortable lifestyle shoe. I don't even think they do the night joggers anymore. But yeah, super comfortable.
A lot of 3M on those joints.
A lot of 3M. This
What was the
green
price
right
point
here.
on those?
This green right here. Price point, they were
no more than 120.
Yeah, no more than 120. They're not even on the box. But yeah, I had these for a while. Super
Someone's
comfortable.
gonna fact check me on that shit. I'm gonna be like,
orange inside. And you know why they call them night joggers? Because all the 3M. When you run at night, all that 3M just glows.
You better believe I've those in triple black, and I bought Baby Sage a matching pair. So
there you
go. In honor of All-Star Week, like you said, we talked about it. There we go. Where is it at? There it is right there. We're gonna go to a retro pair of All-Stars. This was for the New York All-Star game.
Ooh.
And it's got the kind of like the bronze gold MJ on the back, the Jordan logo. These were different. I took a chance on these. I wasn't really a big into the silver, but because they were the All-Star versions, definitely had to get them.
Yeah, those over the 14s.
10s are dope. Yeah.
Sure.
10s are dope.
I'm not going to make too big of a deal here, but I'm about to do something that we've never done in this segment. So y'all know fantasy football was really good to the King this year. And what that entailed was me actually winning my main home league for the first time ever. Like, I've had all of this success. This includes winning like an ESPN playoff challenge back the year that the Packers won the Super Bowl. Like, I won the whole thing. The ESPN shit, that was me. I did that. Like, but I never won my home league against my boys and girls from high school and shit. So I won it this year, first time ever. And so what I use the funds for.
Go do it. There you go. I know what you got. Yep. There you go.
I got myself the championship belt.
Hold on, let's go ahead and put you on. There you go.
So we have never shown one of these joints on here. But this is the same. It's from Fantasy Champs. This is the same brand that the Fantasy Footballers, the most popular fantasy football podcast in the world. They're sponsored by them. This joint is legit. Like, granted, this was not cheap, but I mean the quality, this shit is dope. So no better way. Obviously, I still got the wrapping on it. I'll bust this out when we do the live draft. Classic will come off at that point, when the champ is here, when that starts playing. So, but yeah, this got this week. Had to show it off.
That's dope. That's dope. That's dope.
And
Man.
just so it's out there, we had a Soul Tales fantasy football league, and your boy did come home with the championship. So just know,
all we do is win, win.
It's not all talk.
This guy, look, I'm gonna give him the money just to run my team for me next year, because I gotta come up with some of these dubs like CB does.
Literally 2 years ago. Quick story. It was softball night, but it's fall softball. It literally end of summer, getting ready for football to start. My car battery dies, so I literally cannot leave my house to go to the game. One of my boys, he has a draft that night. He goes, "Bro, you can't come to the game. Draft my team for me. Easy money." My boy won the championship with the team that I drafted. You know what I mean? Like, granted, he made some moves, but I got to partake in the winnings of that season. So I'm just saying, like, if you need the help, CB's out here. You know what I mean? Like, I do this
Services
shit.
are available. Look,
for a price.
Exactly. Make sure y'all like and
We're
subscribe.
entrepreneurs out here, man. You know what I mean?
First of all, shout out to the Sinai Circle Creative Hot Tea Podcast. Look, on Wednesday, Sean Xavier does Over the Hump on Amp Radio. Last night he had everybody in their feelers last night with the post Valentine's Day tunes. It was a groove. So shout out to him. If y'all never listened, just hit up your Alexa app. So you want to listen to Sean Xavier on Amp Radio, Over the Hump. You should get that. He's very interactive too, so you can create songs. You can send him messages throughout. He'll get to you.
On his various radio adventures, he's been known to play some Sick and Buster, which I really appreciate.
Yeah. And then he does the exactly. He said it's coming back. Shout out to those guys. They always show love, and we try to show support back to them. But with all that said, if you were here tonight, we appreciate everyone for watching, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And